You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's R&B Divas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's R&B Divas After Show.
Chante's got a man at home. And he's so... Oh, we're not there yet. You love it, Bamm.
Are you finished? Just go ahead and embarrass yourself to all the 20,000 views we have a week. Does Megan have a man at home?
I do. His name's Jesus.
Girl, please. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in to here at AfterBuzz TV for R&B Divas LA Season 2. I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, y'all. I'm back. It's me, Megan Thomas.
Okay, so last night's episode, what are your thoughts? So what you think?
I don't know if Chante's my friend anymore in my head.
Okay.
I don't know.
People on social media are deeming her to be this season's Kelly Price, like
Right.
the mean girl.
I don't know if I want to say that she's the mean girl. Does she need to probably tighten up some of her business? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think she is as mean as Kelly was last season. Because Kelly was mean. Or they edited her and chopped her up to make her mean. But this season, I felt sorry for Chante too at the end of this episode too.
Well, for me, I think that we're just not seeing enough of Chante, and then a couple moments that you're seeing Chante, she's just kind of going through the motions. So
Right.
for
but
me,
she says that though.
yeah, but I don't see why people are deeming her to be the mean person, because I don't feel she's being mean.
Well,
Now,
who's the mean person this season? There's got to be a mean person.
But there really is no mean person. I think this season is just really chill, low key. We get to see all of the women in their individual personal lives, and then we get to see them musically as solo artists, plus this whole group song. So I think we're getting a mixture of them as personalities and as artists. And the drama just so happens to be like minor, but I feel like this season they're really focusing just on the women. And for me, it's great that there's not a bunch of, claw catting.
Oh, you just wait, honey. It's coming.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you right now, this episode made me go, I don't like working with chicks. It made me say that. Because I really am feeling Leela. She was just like, can we just record the song? Stop trying to do all this therapy stuff, Chrisette. We love you. But I just think, just record the song, put all the BS to the side. And I do agree with Chante when she does say that you don't have to be friends to do work. Because think about it, in your everyday life, doesn't matter where you work. If you have to get a job done, you don't have to be friends with the people that you work with. It would be nice to. That's a plus. That would be awesome. But it doesn't always happen.
I totally agree. And because this is the entertainment industry, people expect everyone to just be friends. But take, for instance, if you and I, we work at T-Mobile, or someone works at the post office, or they work at Jamba Juice, people genuinely don't like each other, but they have to work with each other so they can get that check every Friday.
Jamba Juice or the post office.
So I'm just saying that normal people, they have to deal with this all the time, and you get over it or you get fired. And so I don't see why it's a big deal. I don't see why it's a big deal in the entertainment industry if someone doesn't like each other.
I do understand what Chrisette is saying, because the difference between what these entertainers do and what regular people do in their everyday lives is that these people's creativity, it's their art. This is not, you're not putting out a product that's somebody else's product. At Jamba Juice, you're making somebody else's recipe and you're giving it to people. It's a standard recipe. When you're a singer, you're putting out your own, this is your words, this is your thoughts, these are your arrangements, this is you. So you're putting yourself out there. So I can understand what Chrisette says when she's like, well, I'm friends with everybody that I do songs with. I have to be, because I can't work with them if I'm not. Because then it's not genuine and it's not coming from a genuine place, which I feel like if you're an artist, it probably should come from a real place.
Fair enough. I understand that. But a lot of those women have sung backup for the artists. And you may not like the song that you're singing,
right?
But you have to be that artist. You have to convey that emotion, and your ass needs to sing.
Right.
Period. Bottom line. But okay, so let's get into what happened in last night's episode. So Michel'le reveals that she wants to date men who are 50 and over.
Good job, Michel'le.
She's done with men who's under 50, and so
and black. Basically, because she's like, I don't really care what
race.
they are.
Yeah.
But yes, go ahead, girl. Date you some old white men.
And so
go for it, girl.
And so Little Mo says that she wants to take her to matchmaker.com and to find her somebody.
Right.
And I say good for her. If you like it, I love it.
Right.
You've had, like Little Mo said, she's dated two of the most powerful men she dated. She dated Dr. Dre, had a baby by Dr. Dre, then she married Suge Knight, which was not a real marriage. So she was involved with both of these guys.
Right.
And long story short, she's got two beautiful kids out of the situation. But I understand, when she say she's ready to move over, maybe she's tired. Good,
I know it's look, Michel'le seems like a really nice lady.
Yeah.
And she has been bruised, battered, beaten down, cheated on by these men. Why not have somebody that's completely opposite and different from what she's used to?
Right, because she wants to break the cycle of the pattern of the kind of guys that she's attracted to. So I say great. So she went on a date and
with Mike.
And
wait. Before you go in, what did you think of Mike?
I didn't care. It was like,
At first, I was like, "That's the best you could come up with, matchmaker lady. That's the best 50-plus-year-old man you could come up with."
But who's to say? Don't when someone have to go into what the likes and dislikes. Tall, short, this, that. So maybe that is her new preference. Because,
maybe.
Maybe that's her preference. So they went miniature golfing.
Right.
And she was a little worried because he said he Googled her. Right. And so she's probably thinking, "Oh Lord."
Found about them, the beatings, them babies, all that stuff. Baby daddies.
But he figured out that she did a lot of charity work, and so he was really happy about that. So I say good for her.
I like it. I'm glad Michel'le is, and it was really cute when they were leaving the miniature golf spot, and he wanted to see her eyes, and she showed him her eyes without makeup. That's big, fellas. If a lady shows you her eyes without makeup, she loves you.
Well, then why go on a blind date with sunglasses, with at some point, if you go inside the building, you pop, like, that was...
Maybe she was like, well, in the event that he's ugly and mean and rude, I can just be like, let me take my glasses off because I don't care anyway.
Well, it was rude that she had her sunglasses on during the date.
I agree with you, but it is sunny in California. Just saying, they were outside.
Okay, fair enough. Good. Yeah. So...
And she has light eyes. Light eyes tend to be more sensitive to light.
Okay. So... Michel'le goes over to Little Mo's house, and Mo says that she's having a sex toy party. But before they have that conversation, they mention that Little Mo's been feeling a certain way about the shade that she's been feeling towards Chante Moore, and says that when she shows up to the studio to do this woman's anthem, she's like, where is Michel'le and where is Claudette? And
remember we said that? We were like, why did she exclude them? And Michel'le said something that I didn't even think about, which was apparently we're not big enough for her. But I feel like, I don't know. I mean, in a sense, maybe she has a point. Maybe is that the reason why you think Chante didn't pick them?
Yeah.
Really?
I do, because...
Leela James has a bigger following than Michel'le, and
well, this is the thing. I think Michel'le is more current than Michel'le, because Michel'le really only has that one hit album that just took her that just blew up, and she's able to sing those songs for the rest of her life. Right. Leela James, she just released an album and has a single out, so people are more familiar with Leela James. And then of course Chrisette is she has a whole urban hip hop crowd, and so does Little Mo, so it makes sense. I'm not really sure if that's what Chante was looking for. I think that it's more so the voice is blending.
No, No, because then she would have picked Claudette. Claudette's voice can blend, and Claudette has sung back up.
I don't know. Well,
I was like, because Claudette is pretty. That's what I said. I said, Claudette's pretty. She didn't want Claudette to be there because she's pretty.
Yeah, I don't.
No, but I think that's what it is. I think that Michel'le is right. Maybe they're not big enough, quote unquote, to be on Chante's song.
Well,
that's shady. Oh, I would have said, here's the thing. You got to be honest about this stuff. If you're going to say, you know what, I don't want you guys to be on my song, but I want these people to be, you have to address that elephant and you have to say, I love y'all, but I can't put y'all on my record. Don't be offended when you hear this record come out with these ladies. I still love y'all. Totally. It's business. And I think they would have gotten that.
At some point when they've all had their meetings, they should say, hey, by the way, ladies, I'm working on the song and I asked so-and-so to do it. It's nothing personal, but it's just a decision I made.
Right. I think you give your friends that respect if they're really your friends.
Agree.
Which we found out Chante doesn't really think they're her friends. Shade. Just saying.
Let's go to Mo's sex toy party.
I was surprised that Chrisette behaved the way she did when she found out about the party.
I was a little surprised too.
If anybody, I thought, I probably felt like Leela would have been like that because remember the conversation they had, she was being very prudish and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm in a table full of freakaleaks.
Now, do you
freakahoes or whatever.
Freakazoids. And then Chrisette felt offended. And so she gets offended a lot. But do you feel that Leela is being judgmental?
I feel like, I mean, look, let's be honest. If somebody's like, yeah, I've been in orgies but not participated. I've slept with women, people that you didn't think had did these things. What would you be like, freakazoid? But it's. I don't think she said it in a way like I can't hang with y'all. Y'all horrible. I think she was just being playful with her friends.
I thought so too. She's like, oh, y'all a bunch of freakazoids.
Right. But of course, Chrisette gets offended at everything. So yes. But I thought she was just being like, my friends are freaky.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
And then, being that Chrisette, her first, she said something about how the orgy thing, how it was a bunch of people in the room. She didn't take part, but she was there and she witnessed it.
Right.
I was surprised being that you've witnessed a big orgy
and you didn't participate,
and the fact that she didn't want to mention names.
But she did say, she's like, if you knew who it was in there. I'm like, now I want to know, like, who was it, Chrisette? Who was in there?
So obviously, the people who I think the world is familiar with is what I'm assuming. But it's still shocking that she didn't want to attend.
Which that's what I'm saying. Which is why I was so thrown in left field when she was like, I can't do that. It's so like, I was like, really? You were the one talking about, you've seen orgies? And
yeah.
Leela was the one I expected to be like, no, I'm not going.
I don't have much to say, but what's your take on the sex toy party?
I thought it was hilarious when Miyoko, the sex toy educator, came in there and strapped that bar onto Michel'le. I was cracking up. I thought it was hilarious, and I probably was fun to attend. I would have attended. Seemed like it was fun.
I mean, just because you attend doesn't mean that you're gonna buy or take part in the toys. It's just.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. To me, it was just fun. It was just ladies getting together. And even Chante says she's glad that they had time together. This was bonding. You know, sometimes you need that when you're working with people. You can't always talk about work. Sometimes if you want that personal connection, you got to go past the work and just talk about what's fun. And that's all they did. They just had fun. Just a bunch of ladies having fun with all these little freakazoid products. It was really funny.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm sorry, I love Little Mo. She's always my favorite character because her little one-liners be killing me. I love it.
She's pretty damn funny.
She is.
On camera, off camera.
And Michel'le too.
Yeah, they're both hilarious.
Yes, they are.
Let's go into now the girls meet up at Claudette's house to start working on this actual song.
With no snacks. Was that the day?
No, we're going to talk about that.
I was like,
but when they first,
that was the first thing I remember. I was like, no snacks.
But when they first went to the house, Chrisette brought her boyfriend Justin, and he brought his guitar, and so they start going over some things, and they just start vibing.
I liked it.
I did too.
I liked the song. I loved Little Mo's ad libs. Like it just was really, really good vibes, and I'm glad. I feel like this should be a testament to Chrisette to know, like, they've gotten, even though the road is still rocky from the last season, they've gotten past, because how long did it take for them to finally start doing the diva logs? For a really long time, right?
A really long time.
But it didn't take them much time to get this song cracking. Like, hey, let's go over here.
But it also seems as if the time is more pressing for this season, or that's what they're alluding to. They're making it seem like they only have a few weeks. They only have a few weeks to put the song together.
Right. Which maybe the reason why they need to hurry up with the song. But the other question that I have is with Lil Mo. She's right. Does Justin get a production credit on this song?
Technically, yeah, because he's if they're only using the instrument and he's producing the music, he's producing the beat, so therefore he is a producer. Lil Mo, and I get why Lil Mo is bringing up all this stuff, because all the stuff that happened last year, she's like, look, all right, so is he the producer? That means he gets a piece of the publishing.
Right, and I think you have to understand, music business is not just singing. It's not just putting out a record. It's 50% of the talent and the performance and 50% business. You cannot do one without the other. And I think for Chante to shush her when she had a legitimate concern, this is the other 50% of what you do, which is the business.
Well, so Lil Mo mentioned about if he is going to be a producer, they all raise a hand and agree. Lil Mo appeared to be saying something else, and then that's when when Chante shushed her, as to say, that's it, that's enough, we've already voted that he's a producer, let's move forward.
But I thought Lil Mo was trying to say something in regards to not wanting, or like maybe we should wait, or something about Justin not being the producer, which is why I felt like Chante shushed her, like, nope, we already voted, we don't need to do any more of that. That to me was very rude for Chante to do that.
Very rude. And now that you mention it, maybe Lil Mo wanted to say something because she don't want to share her publishing.
I agree with her, but at the same time, she should have thought about that before, when Justin walked in the door and started playing. Justin, stop, wait, before we get to that portion, we need to handle some business. Is he getting paid?
Yeah. And
Chrisette has every right to be concerned about bringing her boyfriend into mixing her personal life with this business life. I don't think she should have brought him in there, unless he was okay with not getting a production credit.
We're totally agreeing with everything, which may not be fun to you guys who are watching, but I totally agree. She should not involve him.
I think he should be involved, but I think it was her duty as a girlfriend to be honest with him. She forgot the other 50% of this business, which is to talk about the business. And she should have said, okay, before we get in there, babe, you don't get a production credit. You doing this out of the goodness of your heart because you love me. She should have said that. That's her responsibility. So if he gets cut out of it, or if anything happens, it is her fault.
Agree with that.
Why are you agreeing with me today?
Agree with that. The conversation, why was he there in the first place?
Well, I mean, she took the initiative to get this song done. Clearly, nobody else brought a producer in. Yeah. Okay, and she's like, "We gotta get a song done in a couple weeks. Let me bring my boyfriend. He's always with me anyway." Okay, that makes sense. But I feel like she should have had another conversation with him before they got in the door. Like, "Hey, babe, just so you know, you're doing this out the goodness of your heart because you love me."
Or should he do it out the goodness of his heart?
If she hasn't talked to everybody else, then yes.
Okay.
She has not cleared that with the other women before he started anything. That should have been a conversation that they had.
I don't think it's something that he should do out of the goodness of his heart. It should be a conversation that, as Mo opened the floor, well, if he's now the producer, that means is he getting the publishing? So there's a couple of ways that it could have gone, and I think Chrisette should have actually asked if it's okay that he comes.
Right. She should have cleared that with them, with the ladies before. I'm glad she took initiative, though.
Yeah, but it didn't seem to be a problem. But I think if Lil Mo probably would have continued on, it could have potentially been a problem. Just as when they were at the meeting with Cesar, she said something about how much
we're getting paid.
Yeah, how much we're getting paid. And then when we were with Chante, she was like, she can't wait to get her part so she can, get her publishing. So I think if Lil Mo would have continued to keep going, then it could have gone, all of the stuff could have been hashed out.
All right, I agree.
Now, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say I don't think it's going to turn out good for the whole situation with Justin being a producer. I feel like something's going to happen.
Well, in predictions, or for next week, they do reference something about Warren Campbell.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think this is going to... Sorry. No. There's not enough room to have all these producers on this song with all these 6-7 women.
But remember, now they're doing 2 songs. So when Leela and Claudette are at Claudette's house, they're having this conversation. Caesar calls, and says, now we need 2 songs. And so then that's when we go back to Claudette's house.
Right.
And then Mo's like, okay, well, there's no snacks, there's no drinks.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm about to go now.
She said something is about to go down. I could tell this is about to be some BS. And they're all looking at her and it was like, just get it out, just say it.
Right.
And then Claudette says, hey, you know, they want 2 songs. I thought the way these women, and Michel'le was not able to attend it because she had some other business. She was booked.
Why you say it like that? Like she ain't got a life. Like she
because that's
popular in these streets.
because that seems to be the ongoing thing. That's like the phrase everyone's using, the whole thing from Kelly. Like we booked. So booked. Do you get it?
You making it seem like it's something bad.
No, it's not bad.
Bam.
She's booked.
She is.
She's booked. Good for her. I thought the women, the way they went about to go about this second song, I thought that was very business savvy. I thought it was very mature, and they all agreed to it. What did you think about it?
What do you mean as far as doing a second song?
They would do a second song under the
Oh, correct.
Under the conditions that they can get 2
hot tea. Because that is so hard to get.
4 8-hour days for studios. They need 2
Makes
rehearsal. They need 2 rehearsal days, studio rehearsals, and then they need something for PR or something, and then and then they need hot tea.
Right, which I agree with, and I think that's a good list.
And I think that's great. I think that's something they should have came up with the first time.
Right.
If they want them to do the song, then he needs to provide the studio.
Right.
Because studio costs a lot of money.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is unreasonable if you want all these people to do this stuff. It's part of what you got to do.
Yeah.
And I liked how they handled that. I think it was good. But I also think I don't think it's gonna work with having all of these women on one song.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna split into Team A and Team B.
Mm-hmm.
I think to me it would make sense because then you get more time on your song.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You get more of a cut.
Mm-hmm. Now this would be a good example when the R&B Divas Atlanta did Angie's You're My Sister or My Brother or something that they did.
Right.
That would be a moment where they can sing an anthem together.
Right.
One song, do an anthem together, and then flip a coin and then let whoever wants to do the second song.
Well, I think for them, because their voices are so different and unique, I think you'd have to be like, okay, your voice goes with this person. Do you agree with that? Are you okay with that? Okay, let's split it that way. Mm-hmm. I just think it's going to be tension if all women do both songs. Doesn't make sense.
I agree. But I think they can do one song together and then let Claudette, it's her thing. Let her do the second. Let her do the song all by herself.
Nope, don't like that. Because she included them. She wanted them to be a part of this. So I think as a result of that, and now that they want to do 2 songs, I think it should be split. Like, you women do this one and we'll do this one.
So half and half.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's only fair. And the reason I would say that I would present that to the women is because you will get more money if you do it this way. You will get more of a piece of the pie because you don't have to split it with as many people. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
Well, I'm just dying to hear what this little song's going to sound like.
Welcome to Puerto Rico.
You just had to try and get something in. But why don't you sing us to iTunes?
Make sure you subscribe to our iTunes. Why did you take your? Why you your ears?
I was fixing my earring.
Bam! I'll karate chop your neck. Make sure you follow us on iTunes. It's easy to subscribe to our podcast. All you have to do is go to iTunes, search for R&B Divas LA AFTERBUZZ TV, and you'll see our podcast. Just click subscribe. It's totally free, and you'll get our podcast every single week so you can hear us and hear my beautiful singing that Bamm loves so much every week. And make sure you rate and comment and tell your friends. Give us 5 stars too, please. That's it. iTunes. And also make sure you comment. We love your comments, especially on YouTube. They're great. Somebody was talking bad about you, though. That's okay.
So what, who cares?
I know somebody did the same thing to me. It's all right. Love you still.
It was about, so what, who cares? Whatever. Let's now go into, the Chante thing. Mm-hmm. She was somewhat the focus of this tonight's episode.
Right.
So Leela and Chante have a conversation at some little bar. Right. And they're having this conversation where they weren't really seeing eye to eye. Leela is saying, I want to hear the final mix before I sign something.
Right.
Valid point. Chante's like, well, I've been in this business for over over 20 years. You should trust that I'm not going to put something out there that sounds a mess. Go.
Chante, had the tables been turned, boo, you would have done the same exact thing. There's no way you would let somebody sign something off on your voice without you hearing it first. And it's not a matter of, I don't think you're adequate enough to put out a good song. It's my voice. I want to hear what that sounds like before I put that out. Feel me?
Agree.
And I don't think she handled the business correctly. And that bogus letter that was sent to the bogus contract that Cheryl sent to all the management of these ladies is a joke. You can't be, come on. It's 2014. They're all businesswomen. Why on earth would Cheryl and Chante, well, granted, Chante may not have known exactly what the terms of this contract said, but at least Cheryl knew good and well that is not a contract. And if somebody had sent that to her, she would not have done that. She would not have signed it.
And not only that, but Leela was very smart and not taking the conversation to where it could have ended. When Chante says that, you know, I'm not going to let something, you know, just be released and something comes out as, you know, you ladies sound in a certain way because I've been in this business for 20 years. My mouth would have been, I would have snapped right back at
I know
her.
you would have snapped. What would you have snapped with, Bamm?
I would have said, well, listen, this is how I do business. I would like to hear the final mix before I sign something, especially based off how the business was handled in the first place. How am I supposed to trust your judgment and you being in the game for 20 years when you sent me a letter that didn't have a letterhead?
And it was spelled mush.
Yeah.
So, your typos.
I would have dug just a little bit just because.
Oh, you would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you would have.
So,
but I think she did handle it correctly. Yeah. Did. And I'm sorry, Chante. That was one of those, okay, humble yourself moments. And Chante's pretty humble. She's, you know, she does pretty well. But I think that was one of those times she flexed her, do you know who I am chops? Like, I've been doing this for 20 years, boo. I've been like, okay, and then you need to learn how to spell. Tell your manager how to spell because she didn't spell correctly and she didn't send a good contract over.
And although Chante probably had nothing to do with the letter, but who works for you is a representation
right.
of who you are.
Right. Yeah, but I agree with him. I wouldn't have signed anything either until you sent me a correct contract and let me hear what this final product is, because she can't release it without their signature. So then that's like, okay, well, I got the ball's in my court. Then you can't do anything until I sign. So let me listen to my demands and answer them.
I'm gonna just play devil's advocate.
Okay. All right then, Beelzebub.
If it was a bigger artist, say the late great Michael Jackson or a Stevie Wonder or Shaka Khan,
right?
And if you had any of those artists that was doing something, would you really, Leela, say, I must hear the final mix?
I would ask. Yeah, I would ask for it. But if Michael Jackson was like, no, because I've been in the game 50 years, I'd be like, okay, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
So just playing devil's advocate. So yeah.
Not for Chante, no, sorry, ma'am. But when you get to Michael Jackson status, then I will reconsider.
And that's where I disagree, because everyone should be on equal plane. You should treat
You're lying, Bamm. You're lying so much.
No, I'm not.
So if Michael Jackson tells you, Bamm, the song that you're on, that's mine, I need you to sign off on it. You're going to be like, no, I got to hear it first.
My rules are my rules. I don't give a damn who you are. My rules are my rules.
Okay, so if he's like, I promise you it's great.
And remember, let's not go too hard because Michael's dead.
Okay, this is all hypothetical. Okay. I'm just saying. So you would really be like, okay, after he tells you he's been in the game forever, you would really be like, but I'm still not signed until I hear it.
And then if he chooses to say boo and go about your business, that's fine. But
yeah, he probably would do that.
If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. My rules are my rules.
Agreed.
And so Leela's rules are her rules. And apparently she don't care whether if you're Chante Moore or whoever you are, you know.
Agreed.
And so yeah.
But I do think if you're not getting paid, I think that Chante should at least do them one solid and be like, yeah, since y'all not getting paid for this, like.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I would have been like, well, since y'all not getting paid for this, least I could do is accommodate you and let you hear this song before I put it out there, because you're not giving them no money.
Yeah.
At least be nice to them. I mean, buy them a meal, something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give them some crafty something.
So let's now discuss the song. I know, right?
I know, right?
So they met up at the studio and they heard the song. What did you think of the song?
I jammed to it.
Me too.
I jammed to it. It was cool.
I like it.
And I'm glad she didn't just have them singing background. I really thought it was going to be them singing background and she just wasn't going to use their parts. But she did, and I liked it. But I also think they should be getting something for it. Even if it's not monetary, she should do something. Something nice for them. Spa day or something. Who knows? Yogurt land, ice cream. I don't know.
I like the song. Nice beat. And when she went down, all of the ladies, she asked Lela what she thought. Lela says, I like it for how it's recorded. She still hinted at the fact that I like it as it is now, but I still need to hear that final mix.
No, I thought Lela was saying it as though like she was like, this is really a lot better than I thought it would be to be the raw mix. I thought she was being positive.
She was being positive, but I can tell she was saying, I do like the rough mix that's being played to me right now, but I still think she's not playing. She wants to hear that final mix. She's not playing.
Right, but I don't know. I didn't get that from her.
Okay. Chrisette said, she liked it.
Which I was surprised.
Why were you surprised?
Because I thought she was going to be like, yeah, because Chrisette always got some issues or something. So I thought she was going to be like, I don't like this, or maybe it could have been different here. And she whispers a lot too. Maybe it could have been different here, or maybe, you know what I mean? So I thought she was going to have an issue with it.
But the one who had the issue was Little Mo.
Right.
And so Mo says, I got some stuff I got to get off my chest before I approve.
Right.
And
which has nothing to do with the song.
It has nothing to do with the song. But what's your take on the whole Chante and Little Mo?
Okay, first of all, Little Mo, don't be passive aggressive and wait. Like, this is basically, I'm gonna hold this over your head. I'm gonna hold my approval for your song until I get all this stuff that has been, irking me about our friendship or relationship. That to me is, you should have been done that. Like, this is not the time. At this point, it's business. Y'all are handling business. So handle the business and then pull Chante to the side and say, hey, we got some issues. Because she should have been did that. And now it's erupted. And now when you're trying to handle business, you got to go to personal stuff because she doesn't feel like she can still move forward. It's a problem.
I agree also, but I'm going to play devil's advocate because we're agreeing the whole entire show, which is unique.
So rare.
So I agree, but I'm going to disagree with you just for the sake of.
Okay,
so
fine.
It doesn't seem that they've had many opportunities to speak privately. Look at when Chante had the conversation with Lela. Chante is in a place right now where she does not want to be bothered.
I don't think it's that she doesn't want to be bothered. I think she's in a place of she's really, really broken and she's really hurt. And because she is in such a broken place, she does not have the capacity to sit here and deal with people's BS. She doesn't have the time to be like, she's dealing with so much right now that she's like, I can't even be sensitive to your issues. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you're in the valley for a long time and you just like, look, right now, I love you, but I got to go over here and do this because I can't even focus on you.
But I do think that, sometimes when you try to have conversations with people, sometimes they do try to avoid you because they are busy or booked or whatever the situation is. Like if I have a problem with you and I'm trying to get it off my chest, when the other person, when you know that I have a problem with you and I'm trying to speak to you, you'll do everything to always avoid or try and be busy or do other things. So
I mean, that could be part of it because, Chante has thrown some shade. That could be it. But I do also think that she's just been busy and she's been hurt. And maybe she's right when she says, I can work with people that I'm not friends with. And at this point, she was so hurt by Little Mo's actions, tweeting that her ex-husband was such a good guy and taking a picture with him.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Why?
So, what's your thought about that?
I think that's legitimate.
Why?
This is a man who has deeply hurt her to the point where he's getting ready to take their child from her custody when she's never done anything to be a bad mom that we know of.
So then that goes to the whole notion of when Chante says that sometimes it's just work. I don't recall seeing the picture, or maybe I did, but they could have simply been working somewhere together. Let's remember, all of Chante Moore, Kelly Price, Little Mo, they're all from that 90s era.
Right.
And at some point, they've had to run into each other at the Soul Train Awards, the Lady of Soul, the Essence Awards, NAAC. They've all run into each other. They've probably sang in places, so they all are familiar with each other because they all come from that same era.
Agreed.
So with that being said, if they have had some kind of communication before, why can't she say that he's a good guy? Little Mo is not saying, all she said was that he's a good guy. Has nothing to do with their marriage or all she's saying is that the man's a good guy. I've met Kenny Lattimore from the time that I hung out with him. He's cool.
Right, but here's what we're not seeing is because Chante and Little Mo were really cool. So I'm sure there's some things that Chante told Little Mo in confidence about her marriage and about how maybe Kenny treated her. So it's different when your friend does that with someone who you've told them is your enemy and has done horrible things to you, and your friend decides to take a picture with somebody who has hurt you so deeply and say that that person's a good person. And when you're like, I've told you all these things, it's kind of like a slap in my face, like a subliminal slap in my face that I've told you and I've shared with you these things, and you just want to be like, hey, here's Kenny Lattimore and me in a picture, and he is such a nice man. It hurts. And I think for her it hurt so deep, she was like, I don't even know what to say to this chick, because I think Chante's still in a bad place where she's so sensitive, because that is a sensitive, like, get over it. You know, she took a picture with him, but she's sensitive to it.
And just as Little Mo should have not held that issue in for so long, Chante held that issue in way longer.
Right.
So Chante definitely should have definitely said something to.
And guess what happened?
What's up?
Speaking of the devil, guess who just walked in here? Y'all are not gonna believe this.
R&B diva, award-winning
Chante Moore.
Chante Moore.
Come on up, lady.
I got gum in my mouth. Let me put that out. Like, she got on, she's chewing gum all over the thing.
How are you?
I'm good. How
Okay,
are you?
good. We're just gonna have you come sit right over here. Chante Moore is in the AfterBuzz building. Yes.
Woo, woo.
So just bear with us because we're live. Just bear with us. She'll be taking her seat just a moment. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Thank you.
look amazing.
Thank you for being here.
And girl, we was talking about you, honey. You walked in right at the right
You can put
time.
the earphones on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we recapped the show and we broke down what happened with Michel'le and the matchmaker date. Can you?
No, I'm looking at it going
Okay.
this way.
Yeah.
Come this way?
Yeah.
It's this way. Okay, come on.
So we've already broke down the show, and we were at the part where we just spoke about the whole studio session where you played the song for the ladies, and we were saying that I was playing devil's advocate, saying that if she feels a certain way about the song being the final mix, then she has a right to be able to do that. But you're saying that because you've been in this industry for 20 years, trust my judgment and sign the paper.
Well, jumping right in, aren't we?
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't ask them to sing background. That's the first thing.
Okay.
What I asked them to do is be a part of the song. The song is a call and response song. I say, don't you hate it when you text, they answer but you call, and then they don't answer. Right. That was their part. Go right, like be in cahoots with me about the things that happen. And after they do, I know right, I know right, I know right, I know right, then they actually did sing Don't You Hate It This, and then that happens and that happens. You heard a little bit of Chrisette's part, but Little Mo did it, and so did I think Leela did her part too. But anyway, the whole point is they did what I asked them to do.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Oh, you sound good.
Ooh,
I know, right? I was just
like, I know you didn't.
yes, honey.
Anyway, what I was saying is that I wasn't trying to disrespect the ladies. That's first and foremost. It's like 3 episodes of explaining. I already said, I'm sorry. If you don't want to be on it, don't be on it. I think too much time has been spent, too much tape was spent on trying to explain, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And you say no, and it's no, and then move on.
Well, you know, I've said that what I like about the show is they're really focusing on the women as artists, the women as a group project, and then their personal lives. There's not a lot of drama. And so I really feel
Have you
feel
seen
like
all 3 episodes?
that's not compared to last year. That's not really drama. It's just you know, I don't think it's drama. It's a little baby drama.
Just wait.
It's playing in the sandbox for sure. I will say that. And which is, I think, part of why it's so difficult for me to like go through it and watch it. I'm going, oh, please, oh, really, oh. I'm sitting there, and it's interesting that so many of us have some really great stories to tell. Yeah. And they're nitpicking about singing background, and if I'm being rude to them by asking them to be on it, and if I'm going to use their names. I didn't pick their names out of a hat. This was 6 women who were on the show with me. I asked the producers, can I have all 6 women? They said, no, we're doing 6 women for the Puerto Rican project. So use 3 of them. I was like, okay, since people haven't really seen the other 2, and me and Mo are cool, I'll just use them.
We're so glad that you cleared that up, because we wondered why Michel'le and Claudette was not involved. Yeah. But of course, we're not going to see that on TV.
Well, they could have just said, oh, you know, I told them why. I mean, they edited it out, but I told them literally in the session that night. They were like, how come the other girls? I was like, well, 6 of us were there. They wanted 3 of us, so I picked you guys. That was it.
So
it was very innocent. It had nothing to do with it.
It had nothing to do with because Claudette was pretty or because the other people didn't have enough.
I'm with her all the time. I mean, every time we're in any scene, it's like, oh, put Claudette over there. She's always next to me, making me look short. And and she's gorgeous, and I don't mind that. I think it's great. We all look different. We all have our own style, our own look. I'm not intimidated by that at all. I think it's great. And Michel'le has more hits than all of us, I think. When I sing her songs, everybody in the whole studio starts singing everything. I mean, like, anytime she's out with us and we perform, she sings and we all sing. Everybody in the whole audience sings her song. So I
do have a question though. So when in the show, when Leela asks you, or just to hear the mix, and you tell her basically, I've been in this game for 20 years. You know, I wouldn't put a bad product out there. If somebody said the same thing to you, and the tables were turned, would you be okay with that?
Well, I did say yes, she could hear it. I didn't say no, you can't hear it. That'd be different. If someone was like, no, don't hear it. Trust me, girl. Don't you don't even have to hear it. I didn't say that. Which is why there's a session that just happened in the last scene, in the last episode, where I played the song for them. Right. I was like, oh, that's all you need to do is hear it? Okay, then that's great, of course. I'm like, but trust me. I was just reassuring her that I know you want to hear it, but trust me, I would never put it in a way that would make you look or sound funny. That was reassurance, not like, you don't need to hear nothing I'm doing. I've been here 20 minutes. It wasn't that.
Thank you for clearing it up, because it made it come off that way. But I totally get this for reality TV.
Because it did have, I literally asked them to come to the studio and hear the song. And actually, let me just rewind just a smidge. Okay. What had happened was, first of all, the song was supposed to be, first song was done. That's first thing. Song was recorded, written, done, everything was finished. I wanted to ask them to be on the song with me. I didn't ask about verses and stuff because the verses are already written. I wanted them from that point on to add their thing and have more of a party flavor to the song. It was supposed to be like 6 or 7 different steps before that. I asked them, and the next day I was in the studio with them. That's not how it usually works.
Right.
And they know it was the night before, and then we were in the studio the next day. So that wasn't what I planned. Right. So I went along with TV Land and agreed to do the project because this is what we're doing. I'm a part of the TV show, so I can't be like, well, I'm not doing my thing. Ain't nobody singing on my thing. I ain't got 3-4 days to do what I want to do. No, I trusted that the girls would know, hey, I got your back. I'm not going to put you on something and then just put it out without signing something or having something that's written, which is why my manager sent something out that was just quick. Do you want to be on it or not? And we're okay with you if you want to. If you don't, fine. There's no compensation. It's just a part of the show, a part of the song. That was what it was going to be unless they wrote on the song.
Okay, let's speak about that just really quickly, because the letter, Chrisette's manager made the letter seem as if...
Chrisette's
lawyer, I'm sorry, made it seem as if the letter was unprofessional. There was no letterhead. I was really hoping that we would see a zoom in on it. Was it as bad as they made it seem? Or?
Of course not. It was a letter that was typed up while we were in the studio. We found out maybe 7 hours before we got to the studio that day that it was going to be the studio that day. So my manager sent something to protect me, not to bind them. It was just an agreement. It wasn't a contract.
Because you guys had already was in the studio.
Because we were already there. She was like, let me just, okay, listen, you guys, you're going to be on this thing and this is what it's going to be. And there's no compensation. Okay, so we'll figure out the details later. My record company sent a formal, with letterhead, contract to them later that day. But it's impossible to get your lawyer to just do something like that fast. He's not sitting around waiting for me to call him.
Totally.
Okay. I'm glad you explained that because that show was like,
you
come
know
on
what?
now, Cheryl.
I was watching
come
and
on
I was
now.
upset. Everybody was like, ooh, I guess you're Kelly Price. I was like, I guess I am.
Yeah, because the people are going in on you in regards to you're coming off as the mean girl or you're the new Kelly Price. And I'm glad that you're explaining the details because, you know, we're from LA, so we know that there's hours and hours and hours and hours of taping footage.
Yeah,
you know, I was with you guys at Savoy, and you ladies were there for hours and hours, but all night. Yes, because
and
I remember.
They never sing one song on the show.
And she sang one
like
song.
6 songs that night.
Yes,
right.
and then boom, it was
Gone.
it. But I know you guys were there for a long time. We partied a little bit after.
We did. We danced around and had fun on camera and everything. We did the Running Man. They didn't even show that.
Yeah, but
that was a good dance.
They didn't show any of that.
Right.
Now I want to go into now the later part of the studio when Mo said she didn't want to. She had some stuff that she wanted to get off her chest before she gave the approval of the song. We agree that approve or disapprove the song and get that over with. Don't hold, don't try and hold everything in because you have something, like do you
do you want to be on something like that?
Yeah. Answer yes or no. And then she goes into this whole thing about how she's been feeling the shade.
Yeah.
I must say this. We were at the BET Gospel Celebration when you slayed that song with Vashawn Mitchell.
Oh,
you did that.
We were there, and there's a blogger that I know. We were talking about R&B Divas, and even before it aired, he told me that he predicted that you and Little Mo had fell out. And I said, well, why do you say that? And he says, because they don't correspond with each other on social media anymore. And so it's like, okay, that's a very good observation. And then boom, we see episodes and now we see what it appears that the two of you have actually fell out. So I've said the same thing to her as well. So now let's go into now, there's the shade. All the shade you guys are feeling shade toward
y'all
each
use
other.
a church term.
Yeah.
Out against my
Yes. And she feels shade. You feel a certain way. Let's talk about Mo. Mo feels as if you've been shady to her. Do you feel she had a reason to feel that you were throwing shade, or was it just a misunderstanding?
Well, what she said was that she was upset because I didn't tweet that she had a couple singles out.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is call me. I'm never keeping anybody from making it. Why would I do that? Right. If she makes it, that shines a light on all of the R&B divas. So that was ridiculous to me because I would never do that. All you gotta do is let me know, which is why I said it immediately. I'm like, seriously, that's what it was?
Yeah.
I'm like, easily. I didn't know that you had the singles out, and if you wanted me to tweet it, just give me a little text at home.
Be like, girl,
retweet. I got this thing and it's coming out, and then what? Just like when it's on the show, where she talks about what she's doing, and I don't know if they're going to show it or not. But when she has a concert, I'm standing up the whole time, screaming and hollering for her because I don't have anything against Mo. I was stepping back because a whole lot of stuff was going on in my life during that time period. My brother just passed. It was the anniversary of my mother's death, which was on my brother's birthday. So all that was going on. I have 2 broken discs in my neck, and then she's like, "Oh, that just sounds planned." I'm like, "Well, this is my life. This is a reality show. My reality is rolling while all this stuff is happening. I have a daughter who's just turning 18. She's away at school. So I'm missing her. I'm, my kids, I'm dealing with Kenny and whatever the lawsuit is with that. And all of that was going on at the same time. And all of us know that stuff is going on. And it's not an excuse to be mean. But it is a reason to just step back. It was a whole lot of stuff going on. And the first time we had a scene, all 6 of us, actually was the 3 of us, my scene, when it was a scene that was about something that had to do with me, it was, oh no, we don't sing background, we don't do that. So I was like, okay, great. The one time I'm in with you guys doing something that has to do with me, not supporting all of you and everything we're doing, or all 6 of us in all that we're doing. The one time this is about me, because you haven't seen me very much on this show.
We have not.
But the one thing that was about me, oh no, you don't do background. But I'm singing background on the song that's for Puerto Rico. I'm the only one who sang background on that song. I I didn't care. I didn't go, oh, put them in the back too, because if I'm back, they back. No.
Right.
I sang background because I love to sing. I didn't care. They were all sitting there having a scene while I'm in the booth for 2 hours laying background on top of a song, on top of, voice on top of voice.
I give that to you. I will give that to you. Yes.
I'm just saying.
You felt a certain way because Mo, she posted a picture on Instagram saying she was photographed with Kenny like with your.
That's what she did. She went.
Okay.
And she said, Kenny Lattimore, the good guy. Now, if I took a picture with Phil, and I said that to her on camera, but they edited it out. But if I took a picture with her ex-husband talking about Phil, the good guy, ladies and gents, right now, they broke up. Right now, they're in the middle of a divorce. If I'm with Phil, I'm on the show with Miss Ann on R&B Divas, and I get in a picture with Phil, her ex, soon to be ex, and I'm going, Phil, the good guy, ladies and gents. Right. If I text that underneath a picture, what does that say? She must know him, and she must know that little Mo is not the good one in this whole situation. She's the bad one.
Right.
So I thought that was offensive because she knew what was going on between me and Kenny and how it wasn't that great.
Right.
There's, haggling over stupidity. And so you're going to throw some salt before I even see you again.
That's exactly what I said, because I was like, it has to be something deeper where you've shared something with her, or she knew something where, like that would be hurtful.
It was just a little low to me. It was a little low.
And I play devil's advocate because all of you ladies are from that 90s eras where you guys were all, just blasting out hits back, left and right. And I use from the perspective of I'm sure at some point all of you ladies have worked with each other. I know Chrisetta's has performed, and she's been on venues with Kenny. Kelly is. So I looked at it in a sense of maybe they do know each other, and and it's just a picture. Somebody take a picture and hey, yo, he's a good guy. Doesn't mean that he's not. I don't know. Maybe
you don't even believe that. You don't even believe, because I'm saying
because I'm a guy, so I just.
You're not thinking that hard because you're a guy, but if you're a girl,
right,
you're looking at it. You're looking at it. You're looking at it sideways.
And then I'll play the other side. If you did do that, Little Mo probably would throw shade.
She'd be pissed off and caught. Well, the point was, if we weren't filming the show, I would have had a conversation with her about it and been like, seriously, why would you do that? That's really shady.
But why didn't you, when that happened, why didn't you reach out to her and ask her why she did that?
Because so much stuff is going on while we're filming. We are busy. Like, we have different schedules all during the day. I'm not going to call her in the middle of filming this and going here and going there. We're going to have the conversation. We're going to have it because things are building up and you can feel it. But that's real life stuff that's happening. And I hadn't seen her. She was working and doing whatever she was doing, recording. And we have different schedules for filming because we're not even in a lot of scenes together. And I think that was kind of purposeful on the R&B Divas part. I really do.
Has your marriage with your
my divorce with my ex-husband?
So is it finalized?
Yeah, that's been final.
Okay, so it's been final.
How many years, by the way, did it take
to divorce? Almost 2.
Okay.
And so the custody battle, has that been resolved? No? Yeah, it has. Okay. In your
I won. Yeah.
Okay. Congrats.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been happy, much less.
I do want to ask this question, and I'm asking, I'm gonna be done. I did feel a certain way when you guys were at the reunion with Wendy Williams, and when Wendy asked you a specific question about Kenny, I felt rather than yes or no, the way that you answered the question, it left the door open for Wendy to just go in.
She didn't.
Well, she tried to, because then she went to Kelly and then asked him, and I felt it was messy, but I felt that if your answer was a little more, no, Wendy, mind your business, or just something to
more
not
definitive.
What she asked me was him being gay a reason why we divorced? That's what she said.
Right.
No. That was the answer. No.
Okay.
But then that sounds like you're saying he's gay, but that's not.
She didn't ask me if Kenny was gay.
Okay.
And that's none of my business. It's none of my business. It's not for me to announce whether Kenny is gay or not, or whether I think so or not, or whether there's any gayness anywhere in anybody. My business, my life, my show, mine. I'm not talking about Kenny in that way. I'm not saying anything negative about Kenny or positive about Kenny. Right now, I'm pissed off at Kenny. And my son's name is Kenny Lattimore Jr. I'm not telling you nothing negative, and I ain't saying nothing positive right now. Right now, I'm mad at him, and I wish he'd go sit down somewhere.
Do you think you'll ever get to a place where you guys are amicable?
I really hope so. My ex-husband, Kadeem, and I are great friends. He's been a great father, and he's one of my favorite people on the planet. So it's possible, you know. I mean, we've been friends since we broke up. So, I mean, we raised our child. She's almost 18. She's almost 18 years old, and we go out and we just have fun together. We have a great time. But respect and friendship is earned. And you can burn a bridge and it may never be built again. He can be a good father to my son, and that's what's wonderful, is that my son loves him, and I don't have to like him or spend time with him like that. My son has a great time when he's with him, and he has a great time when he's with me, and as long as he's not mean to my son, we good.
Okay.
I'm gonna be praying too, honey.
Go and pray.
Got you.
Anybody who has kids and they're not together, you need help. There needs to be a bridge built somewhere in there. But you can't be suing me and expect there to be a bridge built. Right. Just can't.
And you were blown away when you got the news that he was doing that. Have you guys? Is there any communication at all, or is it just the?
Is it lawyers talking right now? Like, what stage are you in?
Well, we don't have conversations.
Okay.
We do text.
Can we? Okay, I want to talk about your career.
Okay.
I'm also from San Francisco.
Oh!
Yeah, I was born and raised in San Francisco. I'm also a church boy. And so you were signed to Silas Records back in the 90s, and you've had these string of hits. When you look back over your career, are you happy of all what you've accomplished?
Yeah, I am. I want more, and I don't mean that as a pun, but you know, I always feel like I should have maybe done that a little harder. I've been a little more aggressive with this and had makeup artists rather than doing it myself, my own hair and makeup versus they were like, oh, well, she can do it herself. But I should have had somebody doing my makeup and somebody styling me and really doing it. I mean, they did have some kind of artist development, but it was more about how to speak and how to do the interviews and to be comfortable with yourself and make sure you think about what they're saying and don't just talk off the top of your head, because you can get a little bit, lost if you don't. So they taught me how to do that. But the makeup and the hair, I think they should have had people doing that for me. So I do regret that. I do regret being a little more aggressive musically, because I seemed older when I was younger than I feel right now. And musically, I'm like, let's go, let's do this, do that, and take more chances. So other than that, I feel like everything was good.
One of my favorite songs of yours is the one that you did from the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack, where it was no lyrics. It was just,
right.
That was so sexy. Whose idea was that? Was that yours or was it a Babyface?
He said to kind of scat, just. So I was just off the top of my head, just.
And it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about new music in your book?
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
So let's talk about your book, Will I Marry Me? When is that coming out?
This is August, this month. You can pre-order this month. I'm doing a seminar, and I say that lightly. I'm sharing my life. It's called a seminar because I'll be speaking a lot, but I'm also going to ask questions and get information from the audience and tell them my story, because that's what it's really about, is sharing my journey, because I've made a lot of mistakes, and sometimes we don't take advantage of the fact that others have been places before we've been there and after we've been there, and we can learn from other people's mistakes. And I think my journey, learning about love and relationships and marriage and the do's and the don'ts, I think that if I share what happened, it'll help somebody out. Oh, yeah, and it'll help me out too, because I want to learn about, like, why do I do the things I do? Why do I choose the men I've chosen in my life? Why have I gone that direction? And I want to learn from that. So that's where this book has really come from.
That's very humble and vulnerable of you to do that.
Well, that's kind of how I am, even though they're not portraying that on R&B Divas this time. Right. But I'm also very, very careful with myself. I have a very tender heart. And any of my friends know, once I'm on your side, I'm really like a lioness on your side. Right. I will fight, kill, and destroy on your behalf. More than I'll even fight for me. If it's you, I'll take the bullet for you. And that's what's really sad about the show. Honestly, I'm back to that. But is that we could have had a strong camaraderie. We were all very strong and intelligent women, and we could have had a show about strong and intelligent facts and stories about each other, and really learning and delving into where you've been in your life, and where do you want to go, and what are you really trying to say with your career, and all those kind of questions could have been asked one to another, but instead we're haggling over silly little things.
You know, Phil Thornton, when Mila from Atlanta season said, you know, not Mila, but Latavia was saying, you know, it's all about the editing. There are people that's going to say, Chante, be quiet. It's the editing. You can't blame the editing because you gave them what you, so.
No, I'm not saying it was just editing. I'm saying the content in which we're given to talk about. We were put in situations like in a fishbowl that we're not just free to just run around and do whatever we want. Yeah. It is like, okay, we're going to do this today. So y'all be you in that.
Gotcha.
So it's not just, let's just go down the street. It's not that. We really do have like parameters to live in and to be in. So within the parameters of what we were in, yes, they filmed it. And I don't care what they edit. I know who I am. And if they edit it to be that I'm some terrible person, I know I'm not. Whatever, even the answers that they had, that wasn't even an answer to that question. But that's okay. I'm not worried about what the world thinks of me because my body of work and my reputation have been 20 years. So if you take 10 minutes out of a show and think that's who I am rather than for 20 years who I've been. And I've met people for 20 years and the same people, different circles, same people. Yeah. And I mean, from Tom Joyner on, you know, there's so many people that I know that I wouldn't have had the career that I've had. I wouldn't have been able to do this for as long as I've done it if I were conniving and talking about people behind their back and mean to people just because they won't sing on my record. I that's not who I am. And I'm not worried that anybody's really gonna think that, who knows me, who knows my music. I sing about love and relationship and respect. I don't cuss, and they beeped me. I don't even understand what that was about. I'm like, I didn't curse. My mother was like, hey, was that you? Did you cuss? I was like, I did not cuss. They beat me. I don't get it.
Wow.
Why they would even do that.
Do you have any regrets about doing the show?
I don't. It has been great exposure. It's been wonderful to see what it's like to be in this environment. So you don't know how something is until you're in those shoes, you know? And it gives me more respect for my own career because the fact that I've been able to even keep this going and I haven't had to get a second job is amazing in the first place. And then that people want to see me and still hear my music to this day. I'm so blessed to even be a part of it. I don't know. I don't think of it as negative. Certainly there are negative things that are said about you because you're exposed to the world, and those things, they hurt because I'm a live person with feelings, and so it does hurt. But I don't take it to heart like you don't like me. You don't know me to not like me. Yeah. So. Right.
And new music. I know Right's available. Yeah. Right on iTunes. And can we expect any more music?
Yes, you can. I don't know how fast that's going to happen, but certainly that song is available right this moment. And still, the album to me is still really relevant. I'm probably going to do some videos. Actually, in a couple of weeks, we're going to shoot a couple of them from the album because that album is my last 5 years, you know? And sometimes things need to just take some time. And because we have control over, you know, how it is exposed, it's only been two singles. So we want more. We want more from More is More. So I'm not ready yet.
We definitely want more.
Yes, we do.
The last question, you know, your big hit, Chante's Got a Man. Does Chante have a man?
Chante is dating a man.
All right.
Ooh. Yeah. It's kind of nice. You'll see him on the show, I think. I don't know if it's still on there, but we dated on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have to wrap up. We have to wrap up. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV for R&B Divas LA. Let everyone know where you can be found on social media.
As always, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream.
And Chante Moore.
I am Chante Moore on Instagram and Twitter, and just Chante Moore on all the rest of that stuff.
And you can find me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. Chante Moore.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Beautiful.
You're so nice.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.